Now I'm on to my human design chart. And human design is another system that uses the same information as your astrology, your birth information, and it builds this chart that's a body graph, and it shows your different energy centers and what's operating there, and different channels between different centers, which is a transmission of different energies that are present in your body and your being. Um, and so there's different things that you can learn through looking at your human design body graph. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about those things for what's present in my own chart. So one of the main things that they talk about is what they call type. And my type is the projector, which is one of they're kind of known as kind of like the directors in a way. Like if you're imagining all the types in a like a production of a movie or something, the projector would be more of the director. Or they're really kind of like the guide that sits on the side and helps the generators, which are most of the people. It helps guide them towards what they, seeing them and helping them uh, get to know themselves and direct their energy properly. So it's kind of a weird type to be because there's no defined sacral center. That's one of the key signature things, and there's no connection from a motor. And a motor is like the emotional solar plexus center, the sacral, or the heart, or the root, and there's no connection to the throat. So I don't have the driving energy um, that would make me a manifester or a manifesting generator or that kind of thing. So it's kind of a weird type to be, but that comes with its own lessons. And some of the main lessons are um, learning how to be recognized and seen. And a lot of projectors struggle with this at first, is that they want to be seen and acknowledged for who they are, and so they're kind of eager to be noticed by people, and so they'll try to establish connections with people that aren't actually right, and they'll try to communicate what they're passionate about or be involved with people and try to be seen. But if they're not, if it's the wrong people, it's going to make them feel bitter because it, they're interacting with the people that aren't actually right for them. So there's a need to like develop and cultivate kind of like a silent uh, and content state of awareness where you're more of a listener and more of an observer. And so you kind of sit back more and let people come to you and recognize you. And so those are the people who really recognize you and reach out to you, ask you questions, want to engage with you, and invite you into things are the ones that actually recognize you for who you are. And it's really important to pay attention to that when people really do see you, because those are the people that you're supposed to be working with as a projector. Each projector has their own group of people that they're working with, their own group of population that they're supposed to impact and influence and interact with. And so not each projector is made for everybody. So it's important to recognize that it's not that projectors are not supposed to interact with everybody. They have specific people that they're supposed to interact with. And their design, chart looks and where the energy is interacts with people in a certain way. And so each is unique, and there's so many variations in how a projector can be configured. But yeah, that's some information on the projector. It took me a while to realize how to deal with the projector energy and how to be a projector properly. And I used to be so kind of like inviting myself into things and trying to like be seen and instigate things. But I realized I needed to sit back and get more comfortable with my energy, get more grounded, and be more calm and be more of an observer. And then that's when people really recognize me and my energy, because like I start setting out the right vibes, like that people can feel me and who I am in the right way. So that's one of the big lessons for the projectors for sure. If you're a projector, to learn all about that, waiting for the invitation and to be seen and listened to and acknowledged. So yeah, that's my type. And then my profile is the 6'2", which is known as the role model hermit. Line is the role model, and the 2 line is the hermit. And so you can find these based on your sun and earth placements. You see after this period, there's a 6 here. That's like on the personality side, and the design side has the 2. So that makes me a 6'2". Just deals with the placements of where your the sun and the earth positions are on your chart. But yeah, so the 6 line, the role model, has this has as a 6 line, you have a deep vision and feeling of purpose for your life, that you're going to play a big role and be a role model for people, and each person who's a 6 line has their own unique way that they're moving throughout the world, and they're going to be examples for people in how to be, like how to just be as a person and function in the world. And so they become an example to people, a role model for people on how to do that. But it's a big process. You have to go through. It's the top line. It's the 6th line is the top line out of all the lines. It's the final line. So they kind of have to experience all the different phases underneath that in a certain sense. But one of the things that they say that's really important is that the 6th line experiences being a 3 line for their first 30 years of their life. And the 3rd line is the trial and error one. So it's also known as the martyr. They go through a lot of experiences that don't work, like things don't work out, and they try things out and things just don't work. And so the first 30 years, a 6th line is trying things out, trying to do their purpose, trying to fulfill their vision, but things just aren't aligned properly, and things just are not working out as well as they hoped. But in that process, they're learning a lot, and and once they get to age 30, they take a break from the intensity of life, and they go on the roof, is what they call it, going on the roof. And this is the time when they get to heal from all their attempts in life and all the things they've been trying out, and then their trial and error period, and get to reflect and sit back and heal from all that, but also start to really engage with life in the way that um, is actually in line with them. But it's more of a reflective kind of sit back kind of energy overall. And then once you get to age 50, that's when the role model 6th line comes out onto center stage, representing everything they've learned in their 50 years of living, and they get to really function as the role model. So that's all about the 6th line. So the 2 line, the hermit, is all about having creative talent. And so with the 6th and 2 together, they have an innate talent in certain areas. And what they need to do is they need to have their hermitage, so their time alone, to really um, to build up and focus on their talents and reflect on things. And they need that space to cultivate their creative energy. And then people will bring them out into the world to uh, to engage with their talents and provide those to the world. So that's a part of the 6-2 that uh, and the way they operate is they have some innate talent that they provide while they're being a 6th line, while they're developing their role model ability. So that's everything about the 6-2. Now I'll talk about the incarnation cross that I have, and it's the left angle cross of limitation. So everybody has a cross in their chart, and the cross is it's the basically based on your sun and earth placements and your personality and the design side. They're the most key placements that you have. So for me, what the cross of limitation means is learning how to accept limitations as as a a empowering aspect. So basically, it's like learning how to deal with structure, taking on structures when needed, so that you can achieve things. And like, so basically, to achieve anything, we need to take on certain structures and limitations, so that we can work with those limitations to really produce things, create things, and really grow ourselves and develop our lives, and to find material success in general in the end, because you need to have these limitations in place to deal with that. So that's basically what I'm learning about, and I was saying this earlier in the other parts of these different systems I've been talking about. A theme that's been operating for me is learning about limitations and taking on structures, um, to really move my life in a certain direction. And so that's kind of a lesson that I would be playing as a as having a cross of limitation in my body graph in my human design. So that's my human design chart.